So beyond the fact that you won, did that game lived up to its billing?
I thought it did. I didn't think the first period had much intensity to it, but the second and third, I mean, it was physical, and both teams made high-end plays.
Jim, one of the things we talked about this week was your need to not turn pucks over. So when Hillman turned it over to Iafallo at the red line in the first period, you must have had a heart attack on that one.
It was really hard for me to bite my lip when he came back to the bench. I can tell you that. But you know what? I just went up to him and I said, he's the first forechecker and you're at the red line. Like, even if you get by him, you got 4 more guys to go through. Let's put it behind him and let's let our forwards work.
Coach, I think 3 of the 4 goals you guys scored tonight came as a direct result of turnovers. How big was that for you guys, forcing those turnovers?
Well, it's everything. I think if you look at the success we've had here, it's always because of our relentless pursuit of pucks and getting above it, getting on the right side, and continuing to go at people, forcing people to make tough decisions with pressure on top of them. And that's the way they scored, and it's the way we scored. It's what happens when you 2 elite NCAC teams play each other.
Troy Terry rising to the occasion, scoring 1, sitting up 2.
He was great tonight. I mean, if he can play better, I'm going to take it, but I'd like him to stay at that level.
One of the things we talked about was how during the streak of yours, you've had people stepping up when other people have gone out. You lost Jansen for a couple of games, you lost Romig for a few games, you lost Gambrell. You know, a lot of people thought maybe with Heinrich out tonight, you guys wouldn't have been able to put up the numbers you did against Duluth. So talk about, getting production from Lucas Evius, from Conley, and obviously from Troy.
Yeah, I always believe that we're going to continue to get better throughout the year, and I think more forwards are feeling better about themselves offensively. Like we protected pucks well. That's a hard team to gain offensive opportunities against because of the way they skate, the way they check, and their relentless pursuit of pucks. And I just thought that a lot of players are gaining confidence, and we're just going to continue to get better as we move throughout the year. When we get Henrik back and we get Romig back, I mean, we're going to be 4 lines that can really buzz.
Coach, you had a couple of big hits early in the game. How'd you like your response to that as far as winning battles physically later?
Well, I mean, it's a big part. I mean, when you play in this league, if you want to be a puck possession team, you've got to sacrifice your body at times. And we had some players take some big hits. Like O'Connor took a huge one in the third. We had to gain the red line to get the puck in. And Minnesota Duluth, they crunched him, but he took that play, and we got to change, and we get fresh bodies out there to go and play relentless hockey.
It seemed like Conley had been kind of luckless up until tonight. How good was it for you to see him score that way?
It's nice.
That situation to get you back time.
Well, Sandy, we talked about him on Wednesday, right? He's one of those freshmen that haven't been rewarded for all the chances they had, and it's hard when you don't score a goal to keep believing in the process, but he played relentless hockey tonight. He's a horse. When he's moving, he's a big body, and he's an element that we haven't had that much here, and hopefully he continues to grow.
You talked about Tanner being a brick wall at times for you, and in the second period after Conley's goal, it seemed like Duluth had you pinned in your zone for 3 minutes, forced you to take the timeout. Tanner came up huge for you guys on that whole stretch. So
yeah, Tanner's, I mean, he's been great for us, and you know what? He really knows how to manage a game. His hockey IQ for a goaltender is high end. But with that, we talked a lot during the week about there's going to be momentum swings. I mean, this is just like the Frozen Four game against North Dakota last year. You go on a run for 5 minutes, they come back at you, and you got to forget about your last shift. Whether it was great and you were in the offensive zone or you're in the defensive zone, you got to park it and you got to worry about the next shift and stay in the moment.
It looked like Logan was headed off the ice before he stayed on for the 2-on-1. Did you yell over to him, or did you?
Well, the whole bench did.
Okay.
They're like, 2-on-1. So it was opportune time for our bench to communicate.
what do you need to do to have success against Duluth tomorrow? I mean, obviously they're a highly skilled team, extremely fast and strong. And they're going to come out buzzing even more tomorrow night after losing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we got to refresh, re-energize, and we'll make a couple of adjustments to our games that I didn't think was great. But the most important thing is our mentality of our players. Our upperclassmen have been through it. They've been through big games and how to come back and perform and with the same grit, determination, and know it's going to be harder, not easier. And I told our upperclassmen make sure they're talking to the freshmen, because when your head hits the pillow, you got to be thinking about the process that gives us success. And if you're thinking about the right things and you're staying in the moment about what gives us success, then you're not getting caught up in the number one versus the number two stuff.